We're going to do a little bit of yin today as well. So we'll start off with some yin poses and then we'll move into our normal yang flow. But as always, please just check your body, check how you're feeling. I'm not there to physically adjust you in poses as well. So if you've got any props, belts, blankets, blocks, then keep them nearby. You might want them for the yin part of the practice. And if you've got any questions, I'm just going to let someone else in. If you've got any questions or comments, please drop me an email or message after today's session. So keep your props nearby. We're going to start off by coming into Bananasana pose. So most of you have done this before. So we're going to come by laying on our backs. And let's start by coming over onto one side. So lift the lower body from the legs, from the hips downwards over to one side, and take the upper body over to the same side. So I'm just starting on the right side. You can choose to grab hold of that left wrist. You can hold the elbows like so. You can cross a leg over. But just coming to this pose for a few moments and just focusing on the breath and your edge. So be mindful not to take it too far. This pose is really good for the side body, the lats and the obliques. Let's just settle in for a few breaths. Someone else has come in. So just take your time in this pose, feeling that breath all the way in and all the way out. So we're just in Bananasana pose, taking the legs and the upper body over to one side. And we're going to stay here for a few more breaths. If you want to shift your edge, if you want to change that position slightly, then do that now and then just settle in for a few final breaths. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly bring ourselves back to center. I'm just going to let one more person in. Hopefully that's everyone in now, so we don't have to keep jumping to the phone. Okay, so we're going to just take a moment here. So come back to center. Just notice how the body's feeling in this pose. And we're going to take ourselves over to the left side now. So we're going to take Bananasana on the left. So move the upper body over to the left and the lower body over to the left. And again, you've got your options. Take hold of elbows, pull the right arm over. It's your choice. And cross one leg over as well. And try to bring your awareness to the breath. Noticing it all the way in. All the way out. Remember, just find your edge all the way if there's any pain or discomfort. I'm going to settle in for a few more breaths. I'm going to let one more person in. There's a few latecomers today. So just make any adjustments that you need and just settle into Bananasana for the final few breaths. Remember, you're breathing into that right side body, feeling that nice stretch and space. The idea of yin is that we're working a little deeper into the pose, working into the joints, surrendering into the pose. With the yin, you'll notice that we hold the pose for a lot longer. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly come back to center. So unravel anything that needs to be unraveled. And just bring the feet flat onto the floor. Bring the arms to the side. And we're going to inhale as we lift the hips up, coming into bridge pose. So just feel that nice stretch. Pressing the feet into the mat. And start engaging those inner thigh muscles, the adductors. Let's take one more inhale. As you exhale, we're going to gently release. And we're going to take the eye of the needle pose now. So we're going to take that right foot and bring it over onto that left thigh. Just slightly flex that right foot to look after the ankle and the knee. And you're going to thread the arms through whichever version you want. So you can take hold of the left shin, or you can take hold of the left thigh, or you can stay here. Absolutely fine. And we're going to stay here for a few extra breaths today. Just taking care of breathing in, breathing out. You'll notice there's an external rotation in that right hip. Flexing into that right foot. We're going to stay here for a few final breaths. If you need to adjust yourself, then please do so. Remember, don't force anything in this pose. Losing the ego. Doing these poses with honesty. Let's breathe in, breathe out. Let's take one more breath. Slowly release on the exhale. So just take your time. Just bring that foot to the mat. Just squeeze that right thigh a little bit. I'm going to do one more pose on this side. We're going to lift that right leg into the air. So we're going to start working into that right hamstring. You can keep the left leg where it is, or you can bring it out straight to deepen that stretch. And as you breathe, just slowly draw that right leg towards the upper body. You can take hold of the big toe if it's available. Alternatively, you can take your belt and place it on that foot. So nice and safe around the center of that foot. And you can just draw it in towards you. And try to keep the elbows onto the mat. They should feel quite nice on the back of that right leg. And when you're ready, slowly release. So just safely take that belt away. I'm just going to bring that right knee into the chest and just give it a squeeze for a few seconds. That's great. And we're going to come to the other side now. So we'll bring both feet to the mat. Let's take that left foot and place it over that right thigh. Slightly flex that left foot to protect the knee and the ankle. You can stay here or you can thread it through around the thigh or around that right shin. We're going to take a few more breaths here. So if you need to make any adjustments, then do that. Just settle in for a final breath. When you're ready, you're going to slowly release. And just give that leg a squeeze. And this time I'm going to take that stretch into that left leg. So take that left leg up in the air, press that foot towards the ceiling, so flexing the toes. You can straighten that right leg to deepen the stretch. You can take a belt around that left foot. If you do take a belt, then just make sure you keep the elbows on the mat. Just take yourself safely onto that belt. We're stretching into that left hamstring. So it might be quite different on one side. I'm definitely tighter on this side. Just breathe with it. Just a few more moments here. If you need to make any adjustments, just settle in for a final few breaths. And when you're ready, gently release. Going to bring that left knee in and give it a nice little squeeze. We're going to draw both knees into the chest. Take a little rock from side to side and just hug it in. And bring the feet to the mat. We're going to take a couple of twists here. So bring the arms out to the side. And we're going to lift the hips up and just shift them over towards the right, just about 3 or 4 inches. And as you exhale, we're going to twist over to the left. Now try and bring the knees in towards the chest. So the higher the knees, you'll feel it more in the mid-back. If you've got any pain there, then just draw the knees a little bit further down. And take the gaze wherever it's comfortable for your neck. You can take the left hand on the outside of the right thigh if you want to deepen that stretch. If you've got a blanket, you could put that on the thigh as well, sort of gravity to help draw it down. Really feel that breath. So I'm going to take a few more breaths. If you need to make any adjustments, then please do so. And when you're ready, you're going to slowly come back to center. Just bring the feet to the mat and just adjust the hips back to center. I'm going to take a couple of breaths here before we move to the other side. When you're ready, bring the arms out wide. We're going to lift the hips and shift them over to the left about 3 or 4 inches. And we're going to twist over to the right. So try to bring the knees in a bit more towards the chest. So you'll definitely feel this more in the mid-back. I can feel it more on this side, actually. So again, just draw away from any pain or discomfort. I'm going to move here for a few more moments. So just making the adjustments that you need and settle in for the final few breaths. When you're ready, slowly and safely bring yourself all the way back up. Just give yourself a couple of moments here. You're just going to draw the knees in. Give yourself a nice little rock and gentle hug. When you're ready, we're going to come up into our seated position. So let's just meet there, roll out to the side or rock it up. We're just going to do a couple more poses. Now, we often do a lot of external rotation of the hips in our yang practice. So we're going to just do a quick pose for a few breaths where we're internally rotating the hips, just slightly. So what I want you to do is, you can use a block, please do, or a blanket to sit on. And the idea is that we're going to internally rotate the hips. So we're going to come into sort of hero's pose. So just take a look at how I'm demonstrating it. So we're sitting down and we're just slightly internally rotating the hips, nothing major. And we're bringing the calves outside. If this is too painful, then you might want to lift up onto something. So I'm going to use a block. So you can stay here for a few breaths. If you want to go deeper, I'm just going to show you alternatives. You can come back onto the hands or the forearms. But if the knees start lifting too much, I'd say come out of it slightly, or you can put a blanket under the knees. So just stay in your version. Maybe we'll do about 5 or 6 breaths. Let's just take a couple more breaths. And when you're ready, safely come up and remove any props that you have. And we're going to just do a couple more quick yin poses. So we're going to work into the hamstrings. So I want you to Bring that right leg out, flexing into it. Keep a little lift in the knee if you need to. Bring that left foot pressing into the right thigh. And we're going to inhale as we lift and lengthen. Bring your body to face over towards that right leg. And we're going to exhale as we hinge forward. So we're flexing into that right hip and just working the upper body over that right leg. And remember to use that breath. So as you inhale, feel that lift and lengthen in the upper body. And as you exhale, reach forward. And we're going to slowly come up on the inhale. We're going to bring that left hand behind. Inhale, we lift the right arm up in the air. Lift the hip up and just open the heart. And release. Come back to the mat. And let's come to the other side. So left leg comes out, right foot comes in. Turn the body to face that left leg. Inhale. Lift and lengthen. Exhale. Let's hinge forward. So let's work into that left hamstring for a few breaths. We're stretching into the upper body as well. Slowly come up on the inhale. Right hand behind this time. Inhale as we lift the hip up and open the heart. And exhale to release. We're going to take one final yin pose just for a few more breaths. It's going to be our straddle pose. So bring the legs out wide as it's comfortable for you. We're working into the hamstrings and the legs. You can bring a bolster, you can bring a block. And just hinge forward and just settle in wherever it's comfortable, just for about 5 or 6 breaths. See if you can adjust it slightly. You can move a bit forward, you might want to come out a bit. And let's just take 3 more breaths wherever you are. Slowly come up on the inhale. Gently draw the legs in together. So bring them out in front of you. We're going to bring the hands behind us, fingers pointing towards the toes. And inhale as you lift up the hips. So just a little counter pose here. Just point the toes away. You can take the gaze behind you. And slowly come down nice and safely. We're going to come into our tabletop position. So remember your alignment here, hands spread out nice and wide, wrists below the shoulders, knees below the hips. And let's take our cat-cow breath. So as you inhale, tilt the pelvis away from the belly, draw the belly towards the mat, shoulders in towards each other, gaze comes up. As you exhale, reverse that motion. Take a few of these with your own breath. No rush, nice and slow. You can take it outside to side or figure of 8, whatever you want. You might want to try a few coming onto the fingertips. That's sometimes quite good to work into the hands. Just take a couple more and come back to your neutral spine. We're going to inhale as we take that right arm out, parallel with the mat. So reach it forward, bring that left leg up. You might want to externally rotate that left hip to line up the hips. You can stay here, or you can take hold of the left foot in the right hand. Inhale as we lift and push. Take the gaze over that right shoulder if it's available. Remember to breathe with it. And exhale to release. And let's come over to the other side. So bring that left arm out. You can take that right leg up. An option to take that right foot in the left hand. Just press the foot into the hand to get that. And exhale to release. And just sit back on the toes for a few breaths. Use it as a chance to rest the wrists. Or you can inhale as you lift up, take the gaze up. And we're going to stretch it over to the left. Breathe into that right side body. Come all the way up through center. Take it over to the right. Arm through center. And just take a few shoulder rolls in both directions. And bring yourself back onto the mat. Tuck the toes under. Inhale and lift the hips up. Downward facing dog. So just pedal the feet, bend the knees. We're going to inhale as we lift the heels. Exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. One more time. And remember, we're drawing the shoulders away from each other, so a bit of space there. And get that breath all the way into the back body as well. So we're keeping that strength and stability. Let's take 3 lines breaths here. So remember, any pain or discomfort in the body, then come into a variation. You can bend the knees, lift the heels a bit further away. Let's take one more inhale. Exhale as we gaze between the hands and slowly walk the feet towards the hands. So just come into your ragdoll pose for a few moments. So rock it out, shake it out, and shake the head, nod the head, whatever you need. Just let that lower back relax. Just let gravity do its work. We're going to come to stillness and just find wherever the hands reach, whether it's the toes, the mat, shins, the thighs. And as you inhale, just lift up and straighten the arms. Exhale to fold. Just do a few with your own breath. And when you're ready, we're going to slowly start coming all the way up. Take your time, maybe lead with the chest, keep that bend in the knees. And we're going to bring the arms all the way up overhead. Come onto the tiptoes, shoot the fingers up towards the sky, nice and active. And exhale to release. And we're going to come into our Tadasana pose. So bring the feet together and we'll keep them apart. Lift the toes up and spread them out as you bring them back to the mat. So just take a look at your feet, rooting through all 4 corners. Shoulders away from the ears, arms by the side. Start engaging that Ujjayi breath if it's in your practice. That slight constriction at the back of the throat. Create that ocean-like sound. You're going to inhale to rise. Exhale, fold forward from the hips. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, as we step back into plank pose. So we're going to hold plank for a little bit longer now. Remember to engage the core here, draw away with the heels. So think Tadasana, think mountain pose, even when we're in our plank. It's a nice, strong, stable pose. Keep the shoulders strong. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bend the elbows as we lower down. You can drop the knees first, but try to keep the upper body strong. Press the tops of the feet into the mat. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take one more inhale. Exhale, gaze between the hands, step or walk, feet to hands. We're going to inhale, we lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise through Hastasana. Exhale to Tadasana. Take a couple of breaths. We're going to inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale, we lift up halfway. Exhale, we step back into our plank pose. And this time, we're going to lift that left hand off and come into our side plank. So you can stay here, or we can do knee to elbow, knee to elbow, knee to elbow. And this time I want you to grab hold of the big toe. Don't worry if you fall or wobble out of it. And sweep that left foot, bring it between the hands. And we're going to inhale as we lift up into our low lunge. Keep it nice and strong. You can drop that back knee at any time. As you exhale, sweep the arms behind you, arrow lunge. Keep that front knee bent, nice and strong. Let's inhale, sweep it back up into our low lunge. We're going to slowly drop that right knee. And let's bring that right hand to the mat. Just towards that left foot. And we're going to come into our side twist. So just work that right shoulder, stabilize it. We're going to inhale, we lift that left arm up, twisting over to the left. Or you can bring the left hand behind the head, just to help you. There's a nice little twist. You can lift that back knee off if it's available. Remember, you're pressing that right hand into the mat. Lift up through that shoulder, keeping nice and strong. Take one more inhale. And exhale, two release. Bring that left hand down. You can drop that right knee that's already lifted. And we're going to inhale. We lift up the arms. And just shoot the finger up towards the sky. As you exhale, we're going to frame that front foot. We're going to inhale as we shoot that left leg all the way back into three-legged dog. Then you've got option to stack left hip over right. And option to drop it back into wild thing. And we're going to come back into our three-legged dog. And you can come all the way forward into your three-legged plank. And you can do a three-legged chaturanga. It's your choice. So let's bring it back to downward facing dog. Let's take 3 lion's breaths here. So remember to feel that breath in the back body as well. So breathe into those costovertebral joints where the back of the ribs join the spine. So nice and strong. Let's take one more inhale. As you exhale, gaze between the hands, step or walk, feet to hands. We're going to inhale, you lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise through Hastasana. Exhale, come back down. Take a couple of breaths here. We're going to work through the other side as well. Just be aware of any differences on this side. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale. We're going to inhale to rise. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, we step back into our plank pose. And this time, we're going to lift that right hand off, coming into side plank, facing over to the right. And you've got the option of knee to elbow, knee to elbow, knee to elbow. And this time we're going to take hold of that right big toe and sweep that right foot to the front of the mat. And just frame it with both hands. We're going to inhale as we lift up the arms coming into our low lunge. Come to feel that length in the upper body. Exhale, sweep the arms behind you, arrow lunge. We're going to inhale as we sweep the arms back up. We're going to slowly drop that left knee. Release that left hand to the mat this time. Stabilize that left shoulder. So keep it nice and strong. And we're going to do our twist over to the right. You can lift that back knee off. It's entirely up to you. So we're just to sort of draw the heart over towards the right. Okay, one more inhale. Exhale to release. Bring that right foot down. You can drop that back knee. And we're going to inhale as we lift up for our low lunge. Exhale, release the hands, frame that front foot. We're going to shoot that right leg in the air this time for our three-legged dog. Option to stack right hip over left. Option to come into your wild thing. We're going to meet back in three-legged dog. And you can come through a three-legged chaturanga. So working into three-legged plank. Bending down through the elbows. Coming back in your downward facing dog. Let's take 3 more lines breaths there. Let's take 1 more inhale. As you exhale, take the gaze between the hands. We're going to step or walk feet to hands. Inhale as we lift up halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale to rise through Hastasana. Exhale to release. Take a few breaths here. So we're going to come into chair pose. You can bring the feet a little bit further apart if you want to. It's absolutely fine. Remember just to check your alignment here. Draw that midline in. Nice and strong. Let's inhale as we dip and sweep, coming into Utkatasana, chair pose. You can come onto the balls of the feet. You can take hold of opposite elbows, your choice. Sink it a little deeper if it's available. Draw that belly nice and strong. Let's take 1 more inhale and exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let's step back with the right, step back with the left, coming into your plank pose. We're going to just do something a little bit different here in plank. We're going to take that left arm out, face it forward. Bring the left hand behind the body, palm facing the sky. Bring it out to the left hand side, fingers nice and active. Take it forward 1 more time and release. Let's take the right hand forward, fingers pointing, nice and strong. Let's take the right hand behind the waist, palm to the sky. Let's take the right hand out to the side. Let's take it back to the front and release. Take 1 more inhale. As you exhale, lower down through chaturanga, so elbows in towards the ribs. Inhale as we open the chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, take it forward into plank pose. Let's roll the knees, bring the hips up back into downward facing dog. Let's take 2 more of these spinal rolls. So take your time. Should feel quite nice on the spine. And come back into your downward facing dog. Let's take 3 lines breaths here. Going to take 1 more inhale. As you exhale, gaze between the hands, step or walk feet to hands. We're going to inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise through Hastasana. Exhale to release. And just take a few breaths here. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes to go, so we're nearly there. Bring the feet mat distance apart. So nice and wide, toes facing away from the midline. And bring the hands to heart center. And we're going to start lowering down into our yogi squat. Remember, you can stay here. You can use the arms to push the hips out. You can bring the bum to the mat, or you can try crow pose. Have a go at your crow pose. I'm going to lift up onto the tiptoes, slot those knees in towards the armpits. When you're ready, we're just going to bring the bum to the mat. Bring the legs out in front of us, just slightly flexing into the feet, hands by the side, fingers pointing towards the toes. We're going to inhale, lift and lengthen in our Dandasana pose. Okay, one more inhale, and exhale to release. Just bend the knees and slowly bring yourself all the way onto the mat. And before you enter into your final Shavasana, take about 7 breaths, either with the legs straight in the air or against the wall, or you can lift the bum up and come into your shoulder stand. If you come into the shoulder stand, try to support your back, keep the elbows in towards the body. It's not one of my favorite poses, so I'm going to come out of it. And when you've been up here for about 7 breaths, slowly come into your final Shavasana. So safely come out of shoulder stand. Really support yourself with the hands. Just come into your final Shavasana. And we're just going to start deepening the breath. Let's slowly start wiggling the fingers and the toes. Rotating the ankles and the wrists in both directions. Just slowly bring the legs towards each other and bring each knee into the chest. Give yourself a nice little rock and a hug. And just stretch it out nice and big. And bring it back in. Roll over onto the side. And bring yourself up into your comfortable cross-legged position. So you can come into lotus or half lotus if that's available. And just keep the eyes closed and the face off. I'm going to bring the hands to heart center. And we're going to end with our 3 clearing breaths. Slowly bring the thumbs up to the third eye. And just thank yourself and congratulate yourself for a nice, strong practice. And I want to thank you for joining me today. The inner light in me will always honour the inner light in you. Thank you for today's practice. That's great, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Sorry we went a bit over, but we had a few latecomers. So I wanted to make sure we got it all in. All right, nice one. Thanks.
Thanks, Shab.
Take care.
Thanks.